Striking with body structure. The basic tools.
In terms of punching methods, you need to have different mental ideas of what kind of power and what kind of timing you want to put in each punch. Otherwise, you're just trying to throw your hand at someone. So we're going to go through a different series of different ways to punch, and then we're going to put them together and show you why some punches work perfectly in certain ranges and positions and some don't. And that's what you'll learn to feel. So the piercing punch, if I have Simon in the fighting position, okay, from here I see a line that's open, so I want to attack that line. Now there's different ways to do it. One way is to pierce that line. So I'm going to use what we call a cutting position as well. I'm going to cut with my elbow. This is why we don't want to have our elbows high. If I try and punch you with my elbows high, you can deflect it, block it, or intercept it. I don't have control of this arm. If I cut this arm and pierce, I'm trapping the arm. See, trapping isn't all about pack side, lap side. Trapping can be many different things. So by piercing and controlling that structure of his body, I'm controlling him, piercing through him, and I'm also trapping him by jamming in. So he punches towards me, I punch and control him. Now I'm not likely to want to pierce without controlling that arm. So I wouldn't want to do a piercing punch where I just step in and try and pierce him and hit him. You can do that, but later I'll show you there is still a few problems with doing that. So in terms of piercing, I like to pierce and control the angle of the person. Another piercing punch is when you're tight and you want inch power and you pierce into the person. So we can get very good close range power when you use body structure because you're exploding your power rather than trying to get just pure talking, twisting power. I'm sinking my stance and I explode the power up. So that inch power explodes into him. Inch power isn't by flexing your wrist, right? If your arm's straight and you're trying to do this to get inch power, that's never going to work. Inch power comes from using your body, not your wrist. So you sink the body, and when you punch the inch power from exploding the body, right? So piercing punch can be inch punching, it can be a cutting punch. It's basically when you want to pierce like a dagger into the opponent. It's very good for close range fighting. Practice your pierce punch. You can practice it in the air by just sinking your stance and then pressing and piercing. Really feel the squeeze of the elbows, and you want your tendons here to squeeze and develop. You don't want to extend and knock your joint. This weakens your elbow because you're snapping the bones together. So as you pierce, you want this position. Sink and use the hip. Pierce in with the hip.